Hi all, and welcome back to the Soul Shift channel. Today's topic is self-discipline. And honestly, even the word itself carries a negative energy for me. For many years, the word self-discipline made me feel stressed because I spent such a long time blaming myself for not having it. I kept telling myself that I simply could not get things done. Over time, I have repeated that story to myself so often that I eventually accepted it as a truth. I think I have had a complicated relationship with this word for most of my life. In different ways, I have either been told or made to feel that I lack discipline. But perhaps what looks like a lack of discipline is sometimes something completely different. If your brain don't have much of consequence thinking, then it can easily appear as if you lack self-discipline. But in reality, it's not about that. It is about the constant search for something else, for some kind of kick, for some kind of excitement. Since starting this journey, I have begun realizing things about myself that I never reflected on before. And this subject is actually more emotional for me than I understood in the first place. Because today, self-discipline means something very different to me. It is no longer just about productivity or getting things done. It is about allowing myself to follow my own path. Perhaps real discipline only exists when you are committed to do something that you genuinely matters to you. That was my problem all along. I judged myself for not doing things that were never truly part of my path in the first place. And honestly, I think that realization changed everything. There are only 24 hours in a day, and our energy is limited. So when your unconscious mind or your soul keeps pulling you towards something else, maybe it is trying to guide you in the direction you're actually meant to go. And instead of feeling proud of the things I was doing that aligned me with my own path, I focused on guilt over everything I was not doing. Things that perhaps belonged more to other people's expectation than my own desires. Of course, that does not mean we should not stop showing up for others. Caring for people, helping others, and taking responsibility can absolutely be part of our purpose. I'm talking more about all the extra noise, the endless expectations, pressures, and invisible demands that slowly pull us away from ourselves. There are so many things I want to say about this topic, but I still cannot fully find a word for it. Somehow it is like a coin. Every time I toss it, a different side appears. And what is discipline really? And what is a habit? Maybe discipline is only needed in the beginning, until something becomes part of who you are. Once a routine becomes natural, it no longer requires the same effort. One example from my own life is my long journey with weight and dieting. I spent years in Weight Watchers, and I remember the pride and the excitement I felt whenever I lost weight. It gave me confidence and a sense of achievement. But underneath it all, there was always fear of gaining the weight back again. And every time I lost control, I blamed myself for lacking discipline. I managed to lose weight many times, and I maintained it for long periods. I also changed my focus completely. Instead of obsessing over the number on the scale or reaching a specific goal weight, I focused on becoming a gold member at Weight Watchers. And that mindset worked for quite a while until suddenly it did not anymore. I can almost always recognize when the shift begins. Usually it happens during stressful periods or major changes in my life. Stress eating slowly breaks the routines, the structure, and eventually even the motivation disappears. But is this really a lack of self-discipline? Or is it something deeper? Personally, I think it's something else entirely, something I still do not fully understand myself. Is self-discipline getting out of bed the moment the alarm clock rings? Is self-discipline forcing myself to do the things I committed to doing, even when I do not want to? Or is self-discipline deeply personal? Something only me, myself, can truly define. I believe that self-discipline is something much more simple. It is to water the plants even if you don't want to. But self-discipline in itself can never help me reach my goal or find my path. It is a small tool that helps me manage my daily tasks. Now I realize that self-discipline should become my best friend, and I should allow it to daily take one step further for my own destination. But it will never be able to deliver the full solution. I believe that we have misunderstood the purpose of self-discipline. And this tool we are equipped with is much simpler than we might think. That is all for today. I wish you a great day and see you soon.